and welcome to another episode of the Third Man Cricket Show. And unfortunately, the onus is upon us to face this situation. Unfortunately, we are the four guys who are unlucky to be live today. And as they say, the show must go on, and here we are. But before we begin, I would request all of you to maintain social distance. You all are aware what the situation is going around us, and keep your masks up till your nose. Whatever the government norms are at your place, please follow them, and stay healthy, stay strong, and maintain social distance whenever you go out. And coming back to the main topic, I think we are all here to discuss what has panned out for India as a horrible nightmare which can't seem to be shaken off. And today we have with us Nikhil Patwadan, Himanshu, and Mohit Bararia, and we'll be discussing and post-morteming all the things that have went to the match today. So welcome all of you guys, and very first impressions from all of you, very first reactions, whatever that comes to your mind. Starting with Nikhil.
Well, it has been a disappointing series, but I like the fight they shown today. They were really down and out to win this one, uh, and it seems like Deepak Char really likes a fight. Every time they're down and with the slimmest of chances, he just manages a way to score runs, and it was a brilliant innings from him. But again, people getting in, using up balls, but not giving those big scores is really frustrating because uh, if you see, if people are getting out at the start or not building any runs, then it can be considered as okay, or it can be considered as technical flaws. But if you're getting in, you're scoring 50s and 60s and still not being able to finish the games off, there's some issue that needs to be addressed. But again, you can't really blame anyone. Virat Kohli has scored around 650s in the last 8 games. With Shreyas Iyer not getting enough game time, Surya Kumar Yadav's first ODI after quite a while, um, the middle order model, which we are very which we talk about so much, it's just like we aren't able to find the solutions. But Mike Haseman, after the game, said a very interesting line that when the South African batters got in, they ensured that they scored big, and that's exactly what the Indian batters lacked, and that was the series difference. And I really agree with his point. And overall, this can be considered as a big setback, but hopefully it will be a good comeback going in, and they'll learn from the mistakes they've managed to pull off. And also they aren't invincible, so these things are going to happen, but it's important to learn from mistakes.
So, Mohit, coming back to you, as you must have heard what Nikhil is saying, but my question is to you that obviously what he said, I agree with him that the starts need to be converted to a big innings. But don't you think that it is a little unfair that I mean, obviously Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli are scoring runs, that we are ignoring the likes of Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, who could have done better. If they had scored 10 or 20 runs more, either of them, we could have sealed the match. So, saying I obviously agree what Nikhil said that we need to convert the starts into big innings. But coming down hard on Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan seems a little bit unfair because they were the only one who played really well, and saying that they could have done better or they should have utilized more seems a little bit unfair, don't you think?
Kaustubh, I 100% agree with you because this is high time. We have seen Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli giving India those crucial wins along with those runs in the past also. And it is not that a player will continue to make 100 out of 100 every time. There will be some time that he will get out early and others need to chip in and contribute. But at the same moment, as you said about Shreyas Iyer and Surya Kumar Yadav, I have one stat that says in this series, Shreyas Iyer get when Shreyas Iyer came in, the scores were 152 for three, 179 for three, and 118 for three, and almost 25 overs were left in every innings. And those scores are the scores that he made were 17 of 17, 11 of 14, and 26 of 34. So you can't just say that he wasn't given time and he wasn't given games before that. But if Deepak Chahar is coming in after 40 overs and giving those crucial 50 runs, and even Shardul Thakur in the first two games, and they are giving those crucial runs, then we expect the top order and the middle order to do the same. Yes, there were a lot of issues in the middle order. There were some really bad shots, but again, we know this was our best chance to win in Africa, and we know how well we have wasted this. And this is not a personal attack, but it was a collaborative effort. You have to accept that. And we don't think. First of all, for that, our captain needs to lead from front. And I felt that that was missing in this series, in this tour, very much. And yes, a collaborative effort, but yes, a disappointing series to lose.
No, yeah. Nikhil, I saw you want to mention a point, but before that, let me just come back to Himanshu first. Let me take his emotions or his first reaction to the loss. So, yeah, Himanshu, obviously, this is your turn. So, whatever your first raw reactions are, let us hear that.
Uh, Actually, very disappointed. Means earlier two matches, I can say we were outplayed to somewhat. Second match, we were outclassed as well. But today, we had bowled better. Somehow we took all the wickets. But in first innings, way Quinton de Kock and Rassi Anderson started playing, I thought, okay, the game is going away again. But they brought the things back. Again, we considered unnecessary runs in the death, but it's okay. But it was still, the game was in our hand. Wake Virat and Dhawan were batting, it was still in our control. Surya Kumar batted, still in control. So that thing was that okay, this gives us hope. And that in the end, how the collapse happened, that was just like killing the hope, like that, like killing the ant under your feet. So that was exactly like that. Very disappointed, but some bright spots. But we have to work very hard to make something of this team, or to think something of this setup, the team combination which we have been trying for this series. We need to plan very much, and change is needed, I guess, to this setup for the World Cup preparations.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you that we definitely need to look into it. And yeah, coming back to you, Nikhil, you had some points to be mentioned.
Yes, the point of Shreyas Iyer is very valid, as Mohit said, that he got enough game time when he came to bat. But if you are questioning about Shreyas Iyer, then what about the seniors of the team? Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli have been around for a while, and it's become quite often that they get to a score, they get settled, they get to 50, 60, and then they can't manage to finish it off. General templates in ODI run chases, as we have seen, is the one of the top three continues to bat on till the 30th, 35th, or 40th over to just to just guide the ship, and then the middle order comes into play. But there are many such instances that I have seen personally, that the top order has gotten in. They have used balls, but they haven't finished the job. So that is a concern, because you consider top order batters to find it slightly easy than the middle order batters, because there are field restrictions for 10 overs. The ball is hard. It is coming onto the bat quite well. So if you are getting in, and if you are getting those 40, 50 runs and using up those 40 balls, you have to make sure that the job is done.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's just go chronologically here. We'll come back to India's bowling first and the opening stance for. So, for a rare instance that after so many games, India got 2 wickets in power play, and that was due to courtesy of Deepak Chahar, who bowled really well, and one run out from KL Rahul. So, India had a great start. By the end of sixth or seventh over, South Africa was down to 34 for 2, and eventually they were down to 70 for 3. But then a partnership between Quinton de Kock and Wander Dusen came to a fruition, and suddenly from 70 to 3, they went on to become to 2 and 4 for 4. And when that's when Quinton de Kock fell. So what was that something that India lacked? as a firepower, we have always seen that the middle orders have never been our strong point as a bowling unit. But today was especially dull because we were trying really hard. It did not even look like we were trying really hard. We were just on autopilot mode, whatever was going on. Your thoughts on that? Starting with Mohit.
Uh, Kaustubh, I think that it's not always that we need to mention those negative points about our team. We need to appreciate how Decock and Dusen batted very well. Dusen, as we know, haven't been got out since the third test, and we were desperate for his wicket since then. And
288 balls.
yes, 288 balls. So this was a long time, and yes, a very settled innings from both the batters. I think that some bowling changes from Indian point could have been made some differences, but I don't think that there were lot of mistakes from our end. Yes, we were dull at some point of time because when you get those runs flowing from batters, and it is difficult to stick on to, and then bowlers are like वो अपने आप ही गलती करने लगते हैं. Then this is how it goes. So I felt that Decock and RVD batted really well, and constantly taking singles and doubles and hitting those fours and sixes as well. So this was making and building the pressure that they needed to combine those 140, 150 odd runs. So I think this was a commendable effort from them.
Yeah, definitely. And one more interesting comment from Dhutagi is here. He's mentioning that Rahul Dravid is focusing on making all-rounders in Iyer, Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, and even Bumrah now. So yeah, that was an interesting thing that KL Rahul as a captain did, which I also find very amusing. When we had the services of Venkatesh here, we did not go to him in the first ODI, and in the second ODI, I think he bowled 3 or 4 overs, odd overs. But even in the second ODIs, we had few overs from Shreyas Iyer as well, and which was very surprising because that was something that we never saw from Shreyas Iyer. So coming to you, Himanshu, how do you see that move? Is there any particular reason just because he's a leg spinner?
I don't see any means. Though they tried it, I don't see any logic behind doing this because Deepak and Shardul can bat a little. Everyone knew that, but Shreyas Iyer for bowling and making him an all-rounder doesn't make a sense. Just because the only thing that I can see or make some sense of is that maybe to certify his place in the team, because we can say that he can bowl 3-4 overs as a something different than the regular bowling lineups. So that may be the only case for trying that. Otherwise, I don't see any case or reason for doing this.
Any opinion from either two of you?
No, it was almost pointless to go to Shreyas Iyer because yes, we have said that the top six in the top six you must have someone who can bowl and roll his arm over, but he can't do that all of a sudden. He has to be groomed, and Shreyas Iyer hasn't
Yes.
been bowling that much. I don't know if he bowls in the nets as well. So if you want to just give anyone the chance, then anyone, even Shikhar Dhawan has bowled when I remember in 2015. So you just don't have to give anyone that opportunity, but you have to see a certain potential that yes, this guy can manage it, which the Proteas have seen in Aiden Markram. But Aiden Markram used to bowl in domestic cricket. That's what people don't know. So they just looking that if Markram can do, then Shreyas Iyer can also do. But that does not work like that. You have to continuously bowl in the nets, in the games to just get better. And कहीं ऐसा ना हो जाए कि we go for the six bowling option and ultimately he goes for runs and the other five bowlers suffer even more.
Yeah.
I think
And
the hype that we created, ki our,
yeah.
our our team from 2005, 2008, 2012 used to the batters in that team used to bowl a lot. So I think that would have created some sort of pressure in KL's mind. I think you never know.
Yeah. And coming back to our bowling department, or the first innings to be precise, for South Africa. something very interesting happened at the death overs. So South Africa at the death overs just had lost a wicket of Felwaeko. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it was the
Feklo.
last wicket. Yeah, that whatever Nikhil
Yeah.
said, because I'm really finding it hard to pronounce that. But yeah, you get the gist, right? So his wicket just fell before that last 10 overs could begin, and the score was 228 for 6. And from one end only, David Miller was the batsman there, and I think Pretorius was there, but till the end. But I'm not sure how largely he contributed, because 25 ball 20 runs, mostly he rotated the strike. uh, but in last 10 overs, India somehow managed to lake 59 runs in last 10 overs. And if you look at the batting lineup that was present on the field, that seems to be a lot. And what could be the potential reasons? Because we had Bumrah, our premier death bowler as well. So what could be the reasons for the failure of the death bowling? What do you think,
I
Amit?
think that if you get a runner ball in last 10 overs, then it's enough, because you had Miller and Pretorius in the end, and they were just rotating strikes a lot, and not more boundaries were scored at that point of time, and not that extras were given a lot. So I think those singles and doubles created those runs, and I don't think that were most when we compare to a total of 300, because it at the end of the day it's 6 runs per over, and at the death they scored the same. So I don't think that was a lot after that disaster done by Decock and RVD. So yes, we lagged. Our bowling seemed to be dull there, but I don't think that was a problem, because we don't let Miller hit those big sixes at the death. So yes.
And one more interesting thing that I would like to ask, probably everyone was wondering that why Bumrah is not rested. I think Ankit Sarunke has mentioned here that Bumrah's workload needs to be managed. And I thought Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming back into a team after so long of a resting period, he could have done away with the one another game, because we had nothing on the line. The series was already lost, and there was no reason for Bumrah to bowl extra 10 overs in this match. So my initial thought was that Bumrah will be rested and Deepak Char would come into his place, and probably Mohammad Siraj here and there. I'm not sure which player he would have replaced, but I did not see why Bumrah was in today's match. If we had to bowl extra 10 overs from him for a dead rubber, uh, can any one of you give me any insights? What do you
So
feel that
you,
why?
Kaustup, you see
Yeah.
both Bhuvi and
Chahar.
Cheher play together.
No, I think in today's match they did not. But
No, you are asking that Bhuvi could have played
yeah,
today's match. So
yeah,
they would
in
have
place of
played
Jasprit Bumrah.
together. But I think that they are bowlers of same kind, that they have pace of 130 and 135 around that, and they depend more on swing than their pace. So I think that wouldn't have made any sense. Yes, Bhuvi could have played, but then playing Bhuvi along with Deepak couldn't have made any difference. What do you feel, Nikhil and Himanshu?
One dimensional attack, I can get that. So same kind of bowlers. But I think another thing was that since another T20 World Cup is coming up, they wanted to get in the maybe playing Bumrah is their main bowler. So if he bowls well, performs well, we might have a chance of winning, get some momentum into the T20. So that was the one thing which might have been that okay, winning. Let's get a winning habit back in the team. So if and Bumrah will be giving the key to that, so why not try that? That's the reason I think of.
Okay.
But I
And
pretty much
any,
agree with.
yeah, Nikhil, go ahead. I was just coming back to you only.
Okay. I was pretty much agree with Kaustav here, because even if you see Deepak Char and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar are one dimensional, like not exactly one dimensional, but they bowl similar kind of they are similar kind of bowlers basically. But you had someone like a Prasiddha Krishna or a Mohammad Siraj to provide that extra pace. They played Prasidh Krishna anyways, so they could have gone with Deepak Char, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and either of Prasiddha Krishna and Mohammad Siraj. So I think definitely Bumrah should have been rested for this dead rubber game, because now see this is a stat that is slightly worrying, because Bumrah has now bowled 134.5 overs. in the past 6 matches, 3 tests, and these 3 ODIs. So that these are a lot of overs in a very short span of time. Plus the recovery time was nothing, like one day recovery, next day game, one day recovery, next day game. So I really hope that they're protecting him. Yes, we know how good he is and how much we rely on him, but on dead rubbers he must be rested and given that space.
Yeah, definitely, and that seems to be the target for Indian bowlers, right? Because as Indian fast bowlers, we have tendency to what can I say, overuse our fast bowlers, especially one fast bowler who is doing great, and eventually we ruin the bowler to core, and then the career is shortened in India, and usually that has been the case. If we can go back to ages like Javagal Srinath was one, uh, Ajit Agarkar was one of them, Lakshmipati Balaji, who came to prominence as a really good fast bowlers, but eventually due to the extra workload, we could not keep them on the same level. One question from Omkar Acharya here: thoughts on Shardul Thakur? So I think what he's referring to is that today he was dropped from the 11, and any particular. I think most of the time I think that is a very simple question. I think they wanted to give opportunity to everyone, and Prasidh Krishna some international exposure, so that, and I'm not gonna dive much into it. Let's get into the second inning for India. Opening stand between KL Rahul and Shikhar Dhawan. Uh, One curious thing that I would like to ask before to every one of you. Any thoughts on why Ruturaj Gaikwad not given a place in 11 today? Any one
Exactly.
of you
I
can
was
go for it.
about to ask that. We started in a chronological manner and we didn't talked about the selections. So yes,
My bad.
I was also thinking about the same and the fact that we dropped Venkatesh Iyer after 2 games, and I thought that yes, the same Ruturaj Gaikwad, Venkatesh Iyer, and Bumrah. These three selection picks were questionable today because playing selecting Venkatesh Iyer just after that brilliant IPL, and just giving him 2 games, and in that also he was not given bowling in the first game, and he wasn't used, to be honest, very in a better manner. So I think that this was a dead rubber, as we know, and he should have been given the third chance. This wouldn't have made any difference, and Ruturaj Gaikwad as well, he should have been given a chance in place of KL could have batted in the middle order, is what I think.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you, Himanshu? Could you see Rutraj coming in for any other player that played today?
Actually,
Not
I
Rishabh Pant, because in hindsight we know that he is getting out on very first ball. But apart from Rishabh Pant, any other batsman that he could have replaced today?
Rishabh Pant wouldn't have been replaced anyway because he's a wicket keeper. So I maybe Rituraj Gaikwad was there, but maybe possibly Shreyas Iyer and KL down in the order. But that's a big thing because Shreyas Iyer also was needed in the middle order, and he has been lacking form or any runs under the belt in this series and coming matches. Confidence is needed, so that is the reason maybe Iyer was continued, and that's the only spot I can see him coming up instead of any player. So that was a tough call, but I would have loved to see Rutraj play today because this is a dead rubber. Give them a chance, groom them. Maybe he could have worked up, and opening might have been better than today's opening.
Yeah, definitely. And in hindsight, when we see KL Rahul get on in such a fashion, uh, it was a very loose shot, if I must say, because he was caught in slips, I believe. And I think we could have done away with him. In my opinion, we could have rested KL Rahul, the captain. We could have gone for Bumrah because he's the vice captain right now. And looking at right now the Kale's captaincy situation, I believe that Jasprit Bumrah could do a better job. So we could have played Jasprit Bumrah the captain. We could have rested KL Rahul and maybe make some way for Utraj Gaikwad. But here is an interesting comment, and I would like Nikhil to answer this. Uh, I think the the question is right on the screen. I would not repeat it. Why Pant is being pampered a lot? And as rightly mentioned, that Pant, we have not touched the topic of Pant yet, and I would like to allow you to talk about it because before the before the show started, you wanted the space for yourselves, and I'm letting you have it. Just go, talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. Like this is getting an everyday thing, you know. Oh, one day Rishabh Pant goes out there, expresses himself at number four. Okay, he goes out there, scores an 85 at number four, and then before that, people are questioning why is he batting at number four. That's because of the left hand right hand combination, which the team management are thinking that they can go through, and if you have the option there, then why not? But the problem with people is that they do not see Rishabh Pant as he is. They always want him to be mature. They always want him to be so consistent. And one failure, and suddenly they start questioning about straight away. Yeah? So they start questioning his place in the 11. So this is like, I find it quite funny. I back Rishabh Pant with all my heart because I know he's a player who changes games on his own, and we don't have many such players. With his own bat, he changes games. So it is very important to just leave him alone and give him that space he needs, and stop because this is almost like quantity cricket following, because all you want is stats, and then you blame them straight, right? But today's shot was not on. I'm absolutely with this fact that today's shot wasn't on. But if it would have come off, then we would have seen we would have said what an attacking player he is, man. Such positive intent. He's attacking the player right, the bowler right from the first ball. So he is absolutely I don't know the exact term for that. Mohit mentioned it sometimes before, the two-edged sword or something. Uh,
Yeah,
he
dual edged
is
sword.
absolutely that. Yes, Rishabh is being given opportunities. He has to become slightly more mature. Yes, that I feel. But going at him after every single failure is just not on. And as long as he continues to change his games on his own with the bat, there's no I don't see I don't see any problem in Rishabh Pant.
I would
I
like to
agree to
just
you partially.
add one
Yeah, yeah,
statement to what Nikhil said, that when Dhawan got out today, Pant came in and he lofted one shot and he got out. He was there to hit one six out there, and when Surya Kumar came in just after Kohli's wicket, he also lofted one shot and it went out for six. So instead of questioning at that moment, if he would have not connected well and would have gotten out, then we would have indeed eaten him. So instead of questioning the process, we are questioning results, and that is the point I want to highlight, because we know this is how he plays, and instead of questioning today, we need to question when he scored that 85, because in those
yeah.
85 runs he too played that those bad shots which could have been which could have been also felt in our against. So yes, this is what I want to say.
Yeah, I think what I partially agree to with Nikhil with what he said. By partially, I mean I agree with whatever he said about Pant and the kind of player Rishabh Pant is, and what kind of expectations we should keep from Rishabh Pant. I think my only question to Himanshu, you, and Mohit is, should we have that kind of a player at number four? I think that is the biggest question India has to answer, because at number four, all the situations will arise at the time that your openers have gone cheaply, and the number three batsman and number four batsman are there in the crease. And at that point of time, can we have a player who's a risk taker? I think that's the main question. There is no question about Rishabh Pant's approach or Rishabh Pant's ability. That is proven, that is tested. The question is, should that kind of a player be at number four? That is such a crucial position. Himanshu, what are your thoughts?
So knowing if today recent situations have been that Dhawan or Kohli have done a decent job. So when Pant came in, the situation was kind of stable. So sending him made some sense. Okay, attack. It's okay if you don't. If you fail, we have backup. But if situation is not stable, it's dibbly dobbly. I don't think the management will send him only because they know what kind of player Pant is. So if he gets out, the team will be in even more trouble. So I guess since the situation was stable and maybe he could have got there, worked his charm, so that's why they sent him. Otherwise, I don't see him coming in tough situation at number four. Albeit be it lefty righty combination, anything, I don't see him coming there.
And what about you, Nikhil?
I guess the thought process is that they are thinking slightly ahead. Yes, I agree that maybe Shreyas Iyer can handle the pressure better or can be more useful at number four rather than number five. But the thought process, it seems to be that if this guy gets in, he is going to continue to maintain that kind of pressure on the bowling attack. Yes, he'll take his fair chances, and if they come off, they will. If they don't, he'll be back in the pavilion. But I guess the initial or the thought process seems to be that what if he gets in, gets those 20 balls into his bank, and then goes through till the 40-45 overs, and he'll score huge runs if he gets in. So that is the thought process. But yes, the debate can be made that Shreyas Iyer is a better choice than Rishabh, but I guess they're going for the lefty righty combination, which sitting here we can't do much about rather than
Yes.
just to talk about.
I think, and this is a very interesting comment by Rahul saying that Shreyas Iyer was our number four till England series, and he's going through the same phase like Manish Pandey after getting 100. Pandey was dropped after one series versus New Zealand 2016, and then Yuvraj replaced him. Then boom, number four spot is not fixed yet. This comment is very interesting because not only it states a fact, but it mentions Yuvraj Singh as well. And the reason why it is interesting is Yuvraj Singh, if you compare him by the batting style, he was very similar to Rishabh Pant, but although he possessed the similar skills and temperament, he was really successful for number four for India, and that is something that fascinates me because Rishabh Pant can do similar things. And is that something that Rahul Dravid is trying to attempt with Rishabh Pant as well? Because if you remember, Yuvraj Singh, when he came into the team, it was, I think, influence of Ganguly, and Rahul Dravid was there as vice captain. So is there something that they're trying to replicate with Rishabh Pant? Any one
Uh,
of you can go first.
Okay, I'll go. So I
Yeah.
don't think that Rishabh Pant at four is a good option because first of all, Rishabh Pant have to understand his game because he can't go after the ball eh, on any damn ball because we have Shikhar Dhawan in this team which have been of same strike rate which who needs to play those who needs to play at those good strike rate a lot, and today also we saw that he was playing and rotating the strike more. So I think that it's upon the players that they need to decide when to play and when to rotate the strike and when to hit those boundaries. And coming on to Rishabh Pant, I don't think that if management is going after him at number 4, that then in next series we must see him at number 4. And if it is if it is about that right hand and left hand combination, so taking Dhawan, Kohli and Rohit when he comes in, those three guys at top 3, it is 8 out of 9, 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 times that Kohli or Rohit stays till the end and Dhawan departs earlier. It is, we have seen this most of the times. So more often than not, we will see a left to maintain a left hand right hand combination. We will see a Pant coming in at four. So I think if they are going in, they must not change this batting sequence again to maintain that discipline because we have only around 12-14 months for 23 World Cup, and we have till November only for this T20 World Cup. So yes, I don't think Pant at number 4 is a good option, but if he is, he should be there. He should be back there at number 4 only.
Okay. So you're going to back number four position for Rishabh Pant.
Sorry,
So you're going to back at number four position for him, right?
no, not at all.
Okay. So leaving behind the whole Rishabh Pant debate, because there will be always be some people who are fan of him, and we all are. but there are also some people that don't like the way he plays or approach
We
sometimes.
can do a whole watch along for a Rishabh Pant talk or for
No,
a
that,
Hanis or Pujara talk,
but
because
in all honesty, a watch along
Akash
won't
Chopra
last.
also tweeted today that this is
Yeah.
how kind of a player he is. One day we'll say wow, another day we'll say how. So yes, this is how he goes.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that the watch along might not last that long, so who knows. But coming forward to it, Shreyas Iyer, who was our number five in this series, designated number five, has again fallen a prey to short ball again and again, and he has been a regular customer of short balls, and bowlers have exploited his weakness. And I think the before him there was one batsman who was struggling to short ball was Ambati Raidu, and who sadly also was a contender for number four. So what is it with the India's number four contenders and short ball situation? Himanshu, you can go first.
It's just not with number four. Indians have been troubled by short ball a lot. We had Suresh Raina for that as well. He was also sometimes batting at number four, so we can add that name there as well. I just genuinely just don't know how we always keep falling for the same traps, because Shreyas Iyer today knew that their short ball will be targeted to him. So be prepared for that. Now do something different. Do at least play grounded. Do something different. You know they are going to do that, and you are always falling for that same trap. That clearly doesn't make any sense. I guess I know this is not a test match, so leave the short ball is not an option. So, but at least play something different, change the technique or somewhat, because you have been targeted the same way and you have got out three times in this series same way. So there has to be some work done. Otherwise, this problem will keep on continuing, and then we will lose another fine batsman.
Yes, and moving forward, we saw Surya Kumar Yadav starting really well. He looked like he was batting in the nets and straight came into the pitch, but unfortunately, he could not keep up. And one mistimed ball, and he was caught on mid off, and that looked really unfortunate because he was designated as a finisher for today's match. He was coming at number six, and he replaced Venkatesh Iyer, who are we looking at as the next finisher to replace Hardik Pandya. But unfortunately, Surya Kumar Yadav could not seal the match. And I know, Nikhil, at the start of the innings, you said you criticized Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan for taking those balls, taking their time, and not utilizing the start. But if you look at Surya Kumar Yadav, we had similar situation as well. He had a good start. He was looking really great, and he was designated as a finisher. So his job was to finish the match. But unfortunately, he could not do that. Not unfortunately, but that was a rash shot at that point of time, because who followed him, Deepak Chahar, he definitely played the same amount of balls but scored a 50, and he almost won the game for us. So, any words on the way Surya Kumar Yadav batted and got out in the match?
I guess it's very early to judge because this is the first game he's playing of the series, and lack of game time comes into play. Comes into play. Play in this section. Yes, obviously, every time you step onto the field, you want to win games for your country, but not every time it comes off. But I guess I was slightly disappointed with the selection as well, which we were mentioning in the previous question which you had, that. I guess these they have to be slightly brave enough to be able to rest Virat Kohli, to be able to rest Shikhar Dhawan, because the problems would have been solved if Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli would have been rested, and then Ruturaj could have come in, Surya Kumar Yadav could have come in, and Venkatesh Iyer could have played as well. So you could have given enough game time to everyone, and after Virat Kohli, yes, we don't know when he's retiring, but at certain point in time he will. Who's your backup at number three? Because you're not trying anyone. He's continuously playing. Obviously, he'll play at three, but whenever you get those two or three slight chances, why not try someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav or a Shreyas Iyer, who guys who are going to represent your country ahead, going ahead. So I guess they slightly need to be brave enough. But coming back to the Surya Kumar Yadav point, yes, he should have finished, but can't quite blame him because you cannot expect cannot expect him. Basically, he plays at three, and
Yes.
maybe at five for Mumbai. but straight away given a role as a finisher, and you're expected to finish the game. That's slightly harsh.
Uh, but in all fairness, he looked settled and he could have almost finished the
Yes.
game because the way he was batting, it looked really promising and it looked like he was the knight in shining armor who was going to prove all the doubters wrong because he looked like he was set and he was actually picking the spots that he want to hit the shot, and he was executing them to perfection. And the only shot that he could not execute was when he fall prey to the bowler, and that's something sad because at that point of time we did not need that shot, and that's the only reason I feel really sad because that shot, if that was a 5 seconds earlier or 5 seconds later, the result could have been really different and we would have won the match because it's just a difference of 5 runs at the end of the day. But moving on, Deepak Chahar, a lot of people were not happy with the selection of Deepak Chahar in ODIs. A lot of people were commenting that he's not someone who can ball at the end of the overs, ball at the death overs, and he's only one-dimensional bowler. But although that being said is true, he got us wicket in the power play. That is something that we did not have for so long, and also he is going to bat for us in the end as well. It is not just one dimensional bowler. He's someone who is giving you two dimensions in the field and the fielding as well. So this is not the first time he has done it. He did it in Sri Lanka and he almost did it in South Africa now. So can we see him as the potential replacement for Bhuneshwar Kumar in the longer run? Because that is something what Bhuneshwar Kumar used to do for us.
Kaustubh, in my opinion, I rate Bhuvneshwar a lot. If you talk about his bowling, his swing bowling and his batting, but if you see the downfall that injuries have got to him, I feel that Bhuvneshwar that Bhuvneshwar has been lost. And yes, Deepak Chair, as Sunny Gavaskar also mentioned that he could be a great potential fast bowler for our 23 World Cup. So yes, I totally agree with the statement that we can go ahead with Deepak Chahar as a potential fast bowler. And the fact that today at number 7 he gave us those around 50 runs. So yes, I felt that he can bat slightly better than Bhuvneshwar and bowl around to his capabilities. But yes, as a bowler and as a bowling all rounder, I see him playing for India ahead. And not just after this game, he needs to be, if he is selected in a series, he needs to be backed, and he needs to given those matches instead of not performing for a game and then getting dropped. He needs to be backed if we select him as a potential fast bowler for our team.
Yeah, true, and because he has shown so much potential in two series, as rightly mentioned by Shashank Bhai, that in IPL it was okay, even in Sri Lanka, because we have similar situations in India and Sri Lanka in terms of pitches. But in South Africa, doing the same thing, that just wow, when regular batters can't score runs and your bowler is going out there and scoring runs, that is something that you must stand up and comment. Coming back to the last question, and take your time to answer it, each and every one of you. When the T20 World Cup ended very badly for India, there was a huge uproar saying that use bilateral series to test your grounds for the World Cups, and that was very unison. That was a very unanimous outrage by people that we are concentrating on PTM trophies. We are not using bilateral series to do experiments and to test our bench strength, our players, and we are just focusing on winning the bilateral series. But when we are into the transition period, when the captaincy is being transferred, when the mantle is being given to the other player, the torch is being passed, we are not patient enough now because we are trying to do some transition. We are trying to search new players. We are actually using the bilateral series to potentially see what our combination would be best. And now that we are actually having that those thoughts, we are actually implementing the situation that fans actually wanted. We are still accusing our selectors, our team, our coach, and we are doubting the potential. And what really breaks my heart is Rahul Dravid, who at the core is really an intellectual man who reads the game situation very well, and someone who's just started his tenure. He must be getting the flashbacks of 2007 World Cup captaincy of his. So my question to you is, how do you see the situation for India in future? And what about the unanimous voice that was used bilateral series as the testing ground for the Indian team?
So using bilateral series as testing ground, this series was kind of used as for that, which is I like. But we fans, even though we said that we want bilateral series to be testing grounds, we haven't ourselves come to the realization that okay, we also need to show some support to the team in this. Always expecting a win is not everything. We need to look at the positives and what the team was trying to achieve. So it's a change needs to come from us as well. So that is one thing. And for the transition phase that is going on now, it's very tough. What is means there is no clarity on what has happened. So I guess until the clarity is not there between the boards, the players, and the fans, there will be some issues and there will be some negative thoughts that will be thrown around here and there. So first step, I guess, would be solving those barriers between the barriers in the communication, and then we say that okay, we are trying this for this, and let's see what happens. At least by saying that we know what we are trying, then we can evaluate, yes, it worked or it didn't work. But at least by showing a clear pathway, then it's a good way to start the transition, means to work on the transition, I mean.
And what about you, Nikhil?
I guess the thought is really great of trying out certain few players and win the bilateral series and not really focusing on the result. But I guess we aren't doing that because yes, we did it today in a dead rubber situation, and in Sri Lanka, obviously the A side was away, so the other players got chance. But I don't think they were doing or trying out few new stuffs. The first two games, it was all result oriented. So I would love to see this in Indian cricket, that they're trying out new things. They're using players in different positions and not really worrying about the result, but are brave enough to rest senior players, because I which I see here is there's a lot of rigidity because you have Virat
Yes.
Kohli, you have Shikhar Dhawan, you have certain players which are supposed to play there and they'll continue to play there, and so after that, what has happened is that um, even with the Pujara Rahane situation, yes, you are saying that you can rest Pujara or drop Pujara and Rahane, but you're bringing in Vihari and Shreyas Iyer, which I feel are substitutes to Pujara and Rahane. And we haven't really developed Test cricketers who can provide to be backups of Pujara and Rahane going in to the future. So I guess I would really like the fact that they will test this out in the bilateral series with Rohit coming back in for the West Indies series as well. It'll be great. But Dinesh Karthik, I guess, mentioned it that in Indian cricket you cannot have a situation like a Mitchell Marsh for Australia in 2021 World Cup, because it is so result oriented in here that you cannot allow India is not allowed to lose bilateral series uh, as per our media and sadly us fans. Um, so that is it. If they do so, it will be absolutely brilliant for Indian cricket.
Yes. And lastly, coming to you, Mohit, this is the final answer. So yeah, have a go at it.
आईपीएल ऑक्शन के दिन वॉच अलोंग करोगे क्या? Yes, Dhruv Tyagi, for
Yes.
sure. We would love to do that. And at Third Man Cricket Show, we discuss cricket. We discuss cricket wholeheartedly. And IPL, this is like IPL auction 2022 is going to be one of the last auctions, the
Mega
mega
options.
auctions that we are going to have. So definitely, Dhruv, we are going to have one for cost of I think 2 days. We
Yeah.
will we will have for two days, full days. And yes, discussing IPL auction for 2022 season will be a great one.
You know, do you recognize Dhruv Tyagi, Mohit?
Yes,
I
yes,
think.
I
Yeah.
had a chat yesterday.
No, no. He's the one with the account Brandon McCallum, the Dolan account of
Yes, yes,
Brandon
yes,
McCallum.
yes, yes, I
So,
know.
okay. Yeah. So I think this is it from today. A very disheartening loss for India, and very unfortunate incidences that are going behind the scenes. Hopefully, we will know someday after big players that are involving in the saga retire, and soon they write a biography, autobiography, or some movie comes out on their and them. Until then, I think it's all behind the closed doors, and we can do is go on Twitter, trend some hashtags, maybe speculate, make our conspiracy theories, but till then I think there's nothing much we can do. But I think all of you are aware that the COVID around us is spreading like wildfire, so please take care of yourself. Always sanitize yourself whenever you go step out of the house. Please wear mask, maintain social distancing, and do follow government norms whatever there are. And you can see our our panelist Himanshu wearing mask even at his home. I believe that he's not feeling really well. But coming back on a serious note, do get vaccinated if you are not gotten yet. Yes, Mohit, you want to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to make one request that after this series loss against South Africans that we didn't expect, we as a fans go wild after our team and doesn't see what is going after in their mind at all. So it was just a request to support them after what all that have been going on. If we celebrate in wins, we need to support them in losses too. So yes, we have lost badly, but these are the times that our players need us to be with. So yes, just a small request to just follow cricket and not follow winning cricket.
Yeah. And I think this is it from today, guys. Unfortunately, we did not end up on winning side for a long time now. We came here to whitewash the Proteas, and we are returning with nothing in hand. Even the Test series is not ours, but let's not hope, and let's not lose hope. And the main goal is still the World Cup. So let's focus on that, and let's keep the happy news going on, because the IPL auction is in 2 or 3 weeks. So let's keep the hype up. And I think this is it for today, guys. This is Kostu Bogule signing off from the Third Man Cricket Show.